Hi, hello. Martha here. Let's do some Pilates, yeah? I want to say just one thing. Grab, of course, obviously, like your weights if you want to use them, your mat, your, let's see, your water. That's what I was trying to think. Water and cushions, any cushions you need. We are going to do obviously the mat work, but also I wanted to add in some stretching, kind of just throughout the 50 minutes we have together. So I'm not going to use my weights today. You always can, and I'm going to take a little bit more time to stretch throughout the workout. So let us begin. So I have one of these TheraBands, but if you have just like a t-shirt or a towel, you can use that. And then don't forget to grab your cushions, which I forgot. Okay, so at your mat, sit down. You can be kind of cross-legged. I have sort of a butterfly position here. I'm going to take one hand to the side and reach up and over. So we're getting a good long side body stretch here. Opening up through the lungs. Breathe into that. Then we're going to go up and over the other direction. Breathe it in, breathe it out. So when you're stretching here, especially the start, no need to force any stretch. We just kind of want to see what our range is in the moment and know that that's kind of a fluid thing. It does change. Breathe it in, breathe it out. And then release forward, kind of letting that spine round forward. I'm going to rotate to the side so you can see that. So I'm still on my sits bones. If you have any problems being on your sits bones sitting, get one of those cushions. It might even be thicker than this. Sit upon it so that you can get some height. I would fold this in half even. Just kind of release there. Really try to breathe into this back body area as well as the side of the body, feeling the expansion of the rib cage, to the side. If your head is north and your toes are south, think of breathing east and west, right? And slowly roll that up nice and tall. So what I'm going to do, I'll stay here. We're going to think of the base of our pelvis kind of like a clock, the face of a clock. So if I lean back here, notice I'm holding onto my knees. If I lean back, I'm leaning into number 6, right? And then if I shift forward, I'm into number 12, right? So we're going to do this little rock back toward 6 and forward toward 12. And you're going to do that just a few times, holding on and kind of just getting some mobility into that lower back area. Good. Breathe it out, breathe it in. And then do that one more time, just kind of feel that stretch and mobility. Good. Then you're going to think about that clock, the circle of the clock, right? And shift side to side. So we're doing a little 3, a little, what's that, 9? 3 and 9. So it's just a little bit of a rocking motion, and I'm allowing the sits bones to just get a little bit of a lift. Maybe they're still, on the floor, but they're just pulling some weight out of that. So now we let that settle. We shift forward to 12. We shift over toward that number 3. We round into the back for number 6. And we shift over to that 9 before we return to 12. So we're doing that full revolution, right? Repeat that, kind of moving through that, letting the rib cage respond as you go as well. And finishing a couple of those, reverse your direction. So I'm going to turn it face towards you. So if you want to see what that looks like from the side, you can. So I'm feeling my rib cage get pulled, but also the hips kind of shifting around. Good. Round into your back and hold that and fold your legs together so that you're in that C curve position. You have your hands at the knees. You can also hold behind the legs and round into it just a little bit more. Holding on behind the legs is way more supportive, and then come up just all the way on top of those sits bones so you have that lengthened spine. Then round it back, check those shoulders, and slowly rise and lengthen from the tailbone through the top of the head. One more time here. So we're really looking at that mobility across the hips and the spine for this, and getting that range to increase. Lovely. We're going to lower all the way down onto our backs. Find your way onto your back. Coming into your bridge position, your feet are flat on the mat. There's a few inches between the knees and toes. You're going to feel your pelvis up one vertebrae at a time. Now, as you do, hopefully you're feeling a kind of a stretch through the front of the body there, the opening up through the quadriceps. Check the weight in your feet, trying to shift it forward towards your heels, and then slowly lower it back down. And again, articulate that up. So just spending a little bit more time to notice the articulation of the spine, the movement across the pelvis, and the rib cage in our opening here. We'll do this a few more times. Connecting with the breath. Feel that shift of the weight toward your feet. Activate into the inner thighs so they're pulling toward each other, and then slowly lower down. The inner thighs don't have to touch here, but activating them to pull them toward each other, kind of like you're holding a roll of toilet paper right between the knees, is going to help us to get that flow of energy and that balance in the body. The weight always comes just to the shoulders, the shoulder blades, and then slowly lower that down. Nice, my people. Lift your legs to your tabletop position. We're going to flex forward with the upper body. Now here again, when we come into a flex forward position, you can always have your hands at the back of the head to support that. We're trying to get the head over the shoulders there. We don't want to strain the front of the neck. We're going to extend one leg at a time out and in. So getting into this, you can tap those feet down, and instead, if you want it a little bit lighter, you can lower the head down throughout it as well. We're in an imprinted position in our lower back, so that lower back is connected to the mat beneath you. Good. Now we're going to add some rotation into that upper body. Draw the elbow to the floor here, and then slowly switch it out. Elbow toward the floor. I know we often say elbow to the opposite knee, but sometimes that means we fold our arm across the head more than is necessary. So think of pulling the elbow to the floor. Breathe it out. Breathe it in. Again, here you could have a foot coming down to the floor to make it a little bit lighter of a load. Starting to feel that warmth in the abs. Hopefully, we'll finish with this when we'll pull the legs in, relax. Here we're going to extend our legs up toward the sky. Now with your legs toward the sky, you can put a little bend in the knees so we don't pull into the back or the hip flexor, or you can go all the way straight if you have that flexibility. Everybody's different, so just listen to your body. One leg's going to go down, one leg is up. Take this slowly. So I exhale as the leg is coming to me. Inhale as they swap out here. Then exhale again. Feel that lengthening through the back of the leg. You could flex your feet for a little bit more lengthening into that hamstring. combo. Check on the head, support the head, lower it if you need to. Bend those legs and do kind of a mini scissor if you need to. Let's finish there. Pull those knees into tabletop. Good. Now this next time we're going to be extending the legs out and we're going to tuck the knees back in. So now I'm going kind of high here just to demonstrate that you could go all the way up, keeping your back in that imprinted position, or you can go low. We're going to send the arms overhead. Flex forward with the upper body. Now you can keep the head down. You can do the arms and then lift up, taking it just a little bit of a lighter load. And you can even kind of tap those legs down and back up again for a little bit less of a load, not reaching the feet as far. So many ways to do Pilates, right? It's pretty awesome. Let's do just a couple more. Hopefully, taking it slow, you're feeling that core activation. Lower everything down. We're going to come onto our stomachs next. So whenever you're coming up, getting down, all that stuff, see how I when I was on my back, I didn't just heave myself forward, roll onto your side, and then kind of push out of the floor. That's going to keep your alignment and not stress out your neck, especially when you're getting out of bed in the morning. Yeah, you should roll on your side. Okay, so coming on to your stomach here. Our arms, they're bent, the palms are flat, we're staring at the floor. We've got a rotated position through the hips and legs so that we have space for our lower back and we're not smashing our kneecaps, our patellas. Shoulders slide down first, feel the lengthening of the neck, and then we're going to rise up just a little bit. So my forearms are still connected to the mat beneath me. Hold that position and kind of check in on any tension you feel. Do you feel tension in your hips, your back, your shoulders, your neck? Breathe into it and then lower down. And just kind of being aware, more aware today, right? Where are you holding that tension? Let's rise up again with our exhale. Hold for that inhale. You want to draw your pubic bone down to the mat beneath you and lengthen into your lower back so that you're not arching that back. That's not a good conditioned place for us to be in. And then lower back down. We're going to do that again. Breathe it in. Exhale, slide those shoulders down. Rise up. Hold this position. Now, if you'd like to, you can lift those arms off the floor. You can reach them behind you. Roll those shoulders back. Kind of check in on the head. Look side to side. I'm starting to lift my legs, but you don't have to. Lift a little higher if you can. And lower it back down. Breathe it in. Exhale it out. Rise up. Find the length through the spine. Engage your abs here, drawing the pubic bone to the floor. Hold those arms up. Soften at the ribs so you're not dropping them out in front of you. Pull them back. Reach if you want to reach. Check your neck and lower down. We're going to do that one more time. Breathe in, shoulders slide down. Exhale, rise up. Breathe it out. We're still just low for this. We lift those arms. We try to lift the head, neck, shoulders, spine. Try to keep those legs down. Rise up a little higher if you can. Breathe it in. Check the neck. Look side to side. Lower it down. Pull back to your child's pose. Stretch across that lower back. I'm finally warm enough. I've been turning the AC on before these classes so that I don't get so hot during them. Okay, come forward. So now you are coming to an all fours position. So we've got our shoulders right over the wrists, the hips are over the knees, and we have a really long neutral spine, including that head and neck. We don't want it to drop down into the little chicken peck thing, right? We extend one leg behind, so we want want to keep our parallel position. The knee, hip, toes are all facing to the floor, and then one arm in front. We're going to hold on to that just to kind of check in with the balance. Here, the opposite sides of the body reaching, lengthening away from each other. Feel the core really stabilizing. Check the shoulder that it's down, and then lower it back down. And then we do that on the other side, trying not to hold tension through the neck, undue tension across the shoulders. Find that square position through the hips. Lift that leg up a little bit without compromising your back. Breathe into it. Good. And we lower it down. Stay down here for me in that all fours position. We're going to come back to that rounding nature of the spine. Cat-cow if you're familiar in yoga. But we're going to go just a little bit slower. And you're going to drop the pubic bone down first toward the floor, then round into that low, mid, upper, back, then through the neck and head. So we initiate the movement from the tailbone area, and then we let the rest of the spine follow. Got that? Did you catch that? Try it again. So round from the tailbone, the pubic bone, rounding up, and then the spine, the top of the head, last to find its way, and then lengthen from the tailbone all the way through the top of the head. Then repeat that from the top of the head. So first the head, then the neck, we feel the shoulders, and the upper back and the mid back, and then the lower, and then the pelvis. And same thing, try to lengthen from the top of the head, the neck, the shoulders, the spine. Last thing to go is the pelvis, right? Let's go the opposite direction, and this time from the tailbone, try to take it all the way up so that the head is the last thing, and then reverse it from the top of the head all the way through to the tailbone. Try that. Top of the head goes, and then the last thing to go is the pelvis, and then the tailbone starts, and the rest of the body lengthens. Then just do a couple cat-cows at your own speed, not worrying about your initiation points, but just kind of finding your range. You could even do like a circle of the spine in different directions, just kind of stretching and lengthening from the hips. Drop back to a quick child's pose. Feel the stretch through the shoulders, across your back, across your hips. You can do a little shift side to side across the hips, and then roll it up. Okay. We're going to come back to some abs. Now, with that, you can have your cushion folded up right there behind that low mid-back area for a little support. Sorry, I have something caught in my throat. So, you can have that if you want it. You don't have to have it. Arms are in front of you or at the shoulders, and we're going to slowly round and roll back halfway, and then slowly come all the way up again. And when you come up, come right up on top of those sits bones. Round it back. The first thing you feel is that the pelvis is rolling back, and then each one of those vertebrae following through into that rounded position. Check on the shoulders, check on the neck. We don't have to throw them out of position or alignment. So think of the head reaching up still as the rest of the body is slowly following through. Because sometimes, I've seen this in class sometimes, when people go to round back, they like throw their shoulders and their head forward first. You don't have to do that, right? Find that lower back going and let everything kind of float along. And then bring it back up again. So we're really just kind of slow motion, lots of mobility in the spine, across the hips, core activation. Everything is relaxed. I just saw someone that I was like, hey, I think I know that person, but I don't. Good, one more time. And bring it all the way up. Lovely. Now here, We're going to take the hands behind the head. We'll round it back just like before. Check on those shoulders, drop them down. Then we're going to dive it up and over the knees. Feel that stretch into the neck, the spine, and then lengthen the spine back up. Round it back, breathe it out. We hold for an inhale, wide elbows, no folding. Then we dive forward. Keep those elbows wide as you dive. Breathe it out. And lengthen the spine back up again. And keep going. This is all just slow motion. It's slow-mo Pilates Wednesday. That's when I'm filming this. So whenever you do it, might not be Wednesday. But at any rate, just kind of slow-mo day. Breathe it out. Hold for your inhale. Dive it forward. Exhale it out. Nice and all good. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling a lot of mobility is happening through your spine. I'm trying to think of the word. Okay, lie on your side on a cushion, right? So it's not a ton, but we're gonna lift and lower. Now your cushion could be bigger, I just didn't grab the bigger one. And you're gonna lift up out of it and lower back down. So if you wanna have your weight here, you could have your weight in your hand and be lifting and lowering. Plus, if you have a larger cushion, you're gonna probably get a little bit higher. But this might be fine for some of you. And the goal here is really to feel that waistline activation. So the whole core is working. We've got muscles in our abs that start at the back and they wrap around to the front. So think of your abs not just like right around your belly button from like down, but rather from down by your pubic bone up and then from your back to your front. Couple more. And last one. And then we relax. Good. We're going to go to the other side. Feel free to grab a bigger cushion if you have one than this one that I have, which is kind of too small, but it's fine. It's fine for here, for now. And then the same thing. We're rising up. We're lowering down. I'm simulating the weight. So if you wanted to have it, you could have it. Your hand is supporting your head there. Feeling that long side body reach. Breathing it out with each movement. I start my breath from way down low. My belly breathers, all the singers in the world. You guys know what I'm talking about. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. The more that you activate with your breath, the more that you're oxygenating your blood, increasing that blood flow, and helping your muscles out. Gotta help those muscles out, right? Okay, so that we keep thinking about our side body now. So bend your knees and your feet are just on one side. You can take your hand onto your shin and you're gonna reach up and over toward your shin, but then also lean away from it. So your hand is acting kind of like a little leverage point so that you can feel that stretch through the side body. Check your shoulder, check your neck. Breathe it out. Good. Now when you come down from this, you can put your hand down or your forearm. You're gonna lift your hips up. You could even extend that leg out and then you'll reach the opposite direction. So again, nice long side body stretch. And then we'll carefully bring that down. We're gonna repeat that. So the hand holding on, we reach up and over. If you were wanting more from this, you could move through this a little bit faster and you could hold a weight in the hand that's on the shin. You can just like be holding that. Then you take your forearm down and you reach up and over, long side body stretch. You could even take that leg underneath for a little bit more challenge today. We're gonna do this one more time. Bring it in, stretch it out, lean into it, side body lengthening. And then slowly come out of that. Reach it up and over. Feel free to add that side plank. You could do a little extra with your weights here if you wanted. Hold it for just a little bit longer, and then let's bring that in. Okay, so to the other side, same thing. First, you've got to set up those knees. Your hand comes to the shin. You're leaning. It's like your rib cage is getting pulled away as the top of the head and the arms are getting pulled toward your shin. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. How's that feel through the side body? Bring it in. Lower it down. Reach it up and over. This should feel nice and open here. Long reach. Check the head, check the neck, check the shoulder. Full breath, and carefully back up again. Hand comes to the shin. We reach up and over. Let that rib cage pull away. Check your shoulders. Relax the neck. Breathe it out. And then slowly back down. Reach through it. Now remember, like before, you could extend that bottom leg under for that side plank. Hold on to it for a moment. Breathe, and we're gonna do this one more time. Bring it in. Go all the way up and over. Long side body stretch. Lean away from the shin. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Good. Now this time we're gonna take it over. We're gonna stay there for a while. Good, so if you wanted to add that element of challenge, you extend that leg out. You could use your weights and do some little pumping arm exercises here, or you can just hold on to it. Breathe into it. Stay for just a few more seconds, and then carefully everything comes down. Good, roll out the shoulders a little bit here. I'm going to pull my arm across the body, get a stretching through the deltoid, and get a little bit of mobility across the spine. And same thing. Other direction. Okay, lovely. We're going to come to a plank position now, and your plank can be forearms, hands, knees, or toes, your choice. I'm going to choose forearms today. Shoulders are heaven. Shoulders are heaven, guys. Shoulders are directly over the forearms there, right? So we don't want them to be in front. Just kind of get right over the elbow. Drop those heels back. Lengthen your neck here. Turn the palms up. That's going to help us keep an external rotation through the shoulder. Hollow out the abs here so you're not dropping the chest and the hips down. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Keep dropping those heels away from the top of the head. Feel the length through the back of the leg there. Inhale and exhale. I am not timing this, so I have no idea where we're at. But this is probably like 20 seconds, right? You think? We're going to lower those knees down. Pull the hips back, stretch out through the shoulders. Now you could stay for a little bit longer if you want more challenge. Because like, as you can tell, I'm going a little bit slower, a little bit lighter today. So palms down for this one, and then I come back to my plank. Shoulders are directly over those wrists. And then when you have your hands down, think of kind of cupping right through the palm and press down through your forefinger, thumb a little bit, kind of the pads of the fingers down into the floor. So you're pushing it away. So you're hollow out the abs, that pubic bone lengthening down, the head reaching away from the heels, and that full abdominal engagement. I'm going to do just a little shift forward and back across the feet, kind of challenging through the shoulders, through the back, through the core, checking in on the neck here, then lower it down, pull that back, and relax it out. Good, roll it up, nice. Come to just a seated position, roll out your wrist for a second. I like to do this little fireworks thing because in doing that, like all the muscles through your forearm, they get a little bit warmer. Oh, fireworks, fireworks, fireworks. Kind of throw them out there. You'll start to feel that your hands get warm, your arms get warm. Yeah, shake it out, roll it out. Okay. That's just nice, especially if you're feeling kind of weak wristed. We're gonna lower back down and do some abdominal work, but your forearms are gonna come down. So here we're rolling those shoulders back instead of forward like we were before. And we check the spine so that it's lengthened and we're not like rounded into the back, hanging by the pole, right? That's where I wanna be right now though. So shoulders back. Lift those legs. Now you can go one leg out at a time. Core is strong here. I just like give it a little punch-a-roo. Okay, I'm strong everywhere. I'm engaged everywhere. Down through the pelvis. The head is right on top of the neck. What that means is that you're not looking up toward the sky. We don't want to put a kink into the back of the neck. Now you can pull both knees in and extend both legs out. Lengthened in the spine still. Two more. One more. Could you come out of your elbows? Can you lift up? Do you need to bend your knees a little bit? Do you need to round your back a little bit? Hold on. Then carefully we lower down to the floor. Okay, legs come to our tabletop position. Hands are to the back of the head if we need it. Then we're gonna work on rolling up and rolling back down again. Now that might be just way too much right now. You can put your feet down and you can come up as much as you can come up. If you have some sort of leveraging agent, like a band or something, you can kind of pull into that in this tough spot to help you up. You can put it around your feet even as you lower back down. Give yourself a little extra support there, right? So that's really your choice. Getting into the core, really taking that slowly. Breathe it out. Slowly up. Check your shoulders. Lengthen the spine. Roll it back down. Good. How many have you done? 3, 4, 16, depending on how fast or slow you are. We're going to bring it down. If you do have that band, grab it. Let's take it across kind of the balls of the feet. If you have a towel or something of some just long piece of fabric, you can use that. A t-shirt, a sweatshirt. I'm just going to hold that there for a moment. Now, keeping our legs straight or softly bent, your choice. Let your elbows kind of drop to the floor a little. And then your legs are going to draw a circle. So the circle is both legs together. You can challenge your range because you have a little bit of support. Keep your back in your imprinted position. I'm going to do 2 more here. 1 more. Good. Reverse your direction. So everything's a little bit slower today. We're going to go into some stretches here in a second. But you're still fully engaging in the body here. Still trying to find your range, your connection to your breath. One more. Good. Finish that here. Now, if you have a band, you can keep a hold of it, and you'd be pressing down. We're going to do some hundreds, but you might need a hand at the back of the head, so you could do like both bands on one side, or just forget it all together. Pump it out. So choose your method. The word's not coming. Start pumping it out. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out. Good. In. Out. Feel the back is lengthened against the mat. In and out. You could lower and lift, or you could top and extend. In and out. You could even add the head into that. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. In and out. You could hold it all the way down. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. And then everything comes in and relaxes. We're going to come back to our stomachs next. So I'm going to grab my cushion again, going under the hips there. And we're going to get a little bit more range in the spine here. So we're externally rotated. Our hands come back to that mat. This time we press into those hands, and we're going to come up as much as our spines will allow. Breathe it in at the top. Check your shoulders here. No good if your shoulders are like this. Drop them back. Also check your elbows. Turn the elbows toward each other so they face each other. The inside of the elbow is up. That's what we're moving inside. And then lower it down. Good. We repeat that, we rise up. We hold, check all the different areas of the spine. Now what's going to happen here is you're either going to slowly lower down, slow rock, lifting those legs behind. That was option number 1. Or you're going to go fast option, release, and up. That's why it's nice to have a cushion under your hips for this one. Roll it back, breathe it in, breathe out. Rise up, breathe it out, breathe it in. We're going to do 2 more. Last one. Then lower down, hold back, child's pose stretch. I'm going to take a wide knee stance here. Let the hips drop between, hang for a minute. If you have a big cushion, you could put your arms on top of it, kind of stretch across the shoulders a little bit, and kind of shift side to side through the hips and the back. Good. Carefully make your way up. Right again. I know this is a much different class than normal. Normally I'm like speed, get as many exercises at once, strength training. Today we're all about the mobility and the stretch. So we're going to come back to that position we started at in the beginning. Round into the back there. See, again, I'm holding onto those knees, hollowing out the abs. Breathe it out. Feel that stretch in the spine. Hold on to it. You could hold on behind the legs here too. Feel that stretch even into the shoulders. And then come all the way back up, right. And the ear is going to pull to the shoulder. And just do a little gentle stretch. That hand is going to reach behind. So from the side, reaching behind, kind of opening up all these muscles in and through the neck. Then we'll do that the other direction. Be careful there. There's so much going on in the neck, so you want to be nice and gentle. Let the shoulder go. Then bring it up. Now here, We're gonna look down toward the floor, and as we do, the hands kind of come to the back of the head there. So you can see that they're kind of right there at the base. And then gently press the head into the hands, and you'll feel kind of those muscles, those trapezius muscles. And I'm just doing a little kind of shake no, very slow motion. As you do, you're gonna feel just different muscular sensations through the back and side of the neck. Come back through your center, come up nice and tall, and do just kind of a slow look side to side, letting those muscles lengthen and shorten and move. Then we're going to just look kind of toward the diagonal, so our chin's like in front of our shoulder. Then we'll drop the chin down toward the chest and gently press in while reaching your arm behind again. So you'll feel that stretch. So I'm always saying, oh, drop those shoulders down, you know, slide your shoulders down. This muscle, these stretches, they're going to help kind of lengthen that area of the shoulders always popping up on us. Rotate so that we look the other direction. Not straight to the side, but like slightly toward kind of the knee, if it's bent in front of us. Drop that chin toward the chest. And then the same thing. You're slowly just kind of pushing up into the hand, light pressure. And reach that arm behind, open up through it. Breathe it out. And carefully come back upright again. Do a little shoulder check, nice and easy through the head, looking side to side. Feel that. Shake it. Good. Nice. Okay. Come back to, because we just kind of got that whole area, come back to doing some push-ups, right? Now in this push-up position, I've done this in previous videos, but if this is your first time seeing it, I want to make sure you understand that you can do your push-up here from your all-fours position. And the elbows are hugging in, and notice it's like a teeter-totter. So I'm trying to keep that 90-degree bend in the body, and the thing that's happening is my elbows are bending and extending, and everything else is just responding to that. And when I do that, I feel a lot through those triceps. Breathe it out. And breathe out. Breathe it in. Now you might be a push-up maniac, so go for it. Go into your half or full plank here. Find that length. I'm going to stay here and still feel that challenge. I'll look the other direction. Trying still to keep that 90-degree bend happening across the elbows, across the hips. I'll do 2 more. Breathe it out. Breathe it in. Last one. All the way, and then pull it back. Really, in that position, trying to avoid the chin thing, right? Like you see that from my head, because what happens is that people do this action, and it's really their head and neck and spine moving, when it should be their arms are moving, right? So try to really differentiate between the two. Okay, and then do my little firework action, warm up my forearms just a little bit more. We're going to go into the full push-up. Sorry, what I mean is not full push-up, but wide push-up. So our hands were narrow, right? They were narrowed for the first one. Now they're going to be wide. It's like a row, right? A narrow row or a wide row. That's your setup. And then same thing. You can come to this all-fours position and do that same action. Really trying to let the elbows bend and extend. And you may find this one's much easier with a wider base of support. It usually is. So if that's the case, you can go to your half plank position, really trying to flatten out those hips. and then go from there. Now the same thing is applying here when you're pushing through those hands. Push through the forefinger and the thumb, cup a little bit into the palm, widen those elbows. How many have you done? I'm going to do a few more here so that we're about around 10. Checking the neck always. And then last one. Pull that back to your child's pose. Stretch it out. Okay, so we're going to spend the last 5 minutes stretching. Do you feel like we didn't do much today? Hopefully you don't feel that way. We're going to come to our backs to start. Lower all the way down. And here we're going to take one leg and cross it over the other. So just really relaxed through the legs here. I'm going to rotate just a little bit so I have space, but I'm going to drop the knees to one side. Keep both shoulders down. Let that hip lift off a little bit. Feel the spiraling nature of the spine. Our vertebrae, our vertebral column, has all sorts of mobility in it. So trying to access that regularly is going to keep that fully functioning, fully mobile. That's one of the best things about Pilates, is that it really does work the body in all the different planes. So uncross, recross to the other side, and then same thing. That mobility keeps your functionality through your body. So even on a day like this, when we're taking it a little bit lighter, we're not going as intense into like the strength training aspect of Pilates, there's still a lot that we're working on in our stability and our range of motion, some of our balance and peripheral vision. We want to keep that strong, especially as we get older. Okay, and then bring that back up. Now you can gently rock side to side just a couple of times if you want to kind of stay there. You still feel like you need a little bit more. Or you can grab your band or whatever strap kind of thing you have, a belt or something of that nature, and extend the leg up toward the sky. So I have it right kind of at the ball of the foot, so I can flex the foot a little bit more. That for me is going to help open up across the shins and lengthen just a little bit more into my hamstrings. Now I don't know how your hamstrings are, but mine, I swear they're like super short or something, because it's always been a challenge of mine, those hamstrings. I mean, when I was younger, I could, obviously, most of us can do the splits when we're kids, right? But as you grow older, you lose that mobility that I was talking about, because we're not moving around the same way. Feel that stretch. Try to really hold on to it without stressing across the shoulders and the neck, right? And hang into that. We want to stay here for a while to really allow the muscles to release and relax, which takes at the very least 20 seconds for each position. Then we're going to draw the leg across the midline of the body, and here you can keep the hip down, you can let it lift up, your choice. So you could go all the way across, keep your shoulders down here. Feel that stretch into kind of that glute hip area. Notice the different sensations that you're feeling. Oh, I'm feeling my throat is dry. Can you hear it in my voice? I'm starting to sound a little bit like a froggy. Good, then we're gonna go up and over the other direction. Here you wanna find your external rotation. So that comes from the hip. Try to keep your other leg down so the hip's not pulling off. And you can support it with your hand a little bit it so that you're not just dropping into gravity, right? Rotate that. How does the body feel? You might be ready for bed now. We're going to switch to the other side. This would probably be a good workout just before bed because you get kind of all the areas, move through them, and then we get to stretch it out for a little bit. Breathe into it. Lengthen through the back of the leg there. Flex that foot for more challenge. You'll feel it kind of lengthening to the very edges of the musculature. Then slowly draw that leg across the midline. Hold it there. Woo. I am tight. Are you tight? I forgot to turn my lights on today on my flowers. Too bad. It'd be kind of fun if one day I could turn the lights low so that you could see what it looks like kind of in the dark, but then you probably wouldn't be able to see me. So, and just really opening up into that rotation. Try to really imagine all the muscles through the hips and legs lengthening. Just imagine them growing longer, and even in the imagination of it, they'll lengthen just a little bit more. Okay, my peoples, I hope you feel good through your body today, because that was kind of the goal. It was just like move the body, do a little strengthening, get some stretching, so we'll work out all the kinks for a little bit taller. Okay, I will see you guys next time, whenever that is, and feel free to, let me know if there's anything you want, like, oh, I really want this, or can you workshop this exercise for me, Maybe you've always had questions about this or that, so let me know, okay? Love you guys, take care.